Hey everyone, welcome to our another episode of Weekly Market Prep. I'm recording it a little bit late NY time, but you should have it before market opens tomorrow and before you place any trade. Uh, so let's dive right in. I have created a high level six bullets which I want to go through. We'll start with an overall market overview of SPY, SPX, triple Qs, and we'll combine that with VIX. Then we'll do some momentum stock analysis. I have a list of momentum stocks which I'm keeping an eye for the next week. I'll go through some of them, but I recommend that all of you should definitely keep a tab on those for the upcoming at least 1 to 2 weeks, and you should definitely try to take a deep dive tech analysis on those. Then we'll do some high level macro with gold, crude on dollar. We'll dive into some of the earnings which I'm keeping a tab on. Again, I have a list of stocks for earnings watch which I am keeping a tab on. You will see it in the watch list and you can follow those. We'll see some of the economic events which we are following for the upcoming week, and we'll recap overall watch list for the next week. So let's dive in with SPX. So as you can see here, SPX has been consolidating tightly in these range. What we discussed in our last, I think, weekly prep. There was a small bounce back here, but not supported by volumes. As you can see, all these days were like low on volume, so of course didn't sustain and came down. Uh, Although it has declined for I think past 3 4 days, one positive sign I'm seeing is the RSI has started to consolidate. The MACD is trying to come in slight green zone, so that is a good sign. But still, I need to see some volumes. I need to see some sharp green candles moving above this blue line. I think that's the short-term moving average, 20-day moving average. So that will be the first sign to have any kind of bullish trade on SPX. Below that, I will not go long, or even if I'm going long, I will of course hedge it with some short side. At max, I can do a small verticals. I will not go naked long for now. So 5500, as you can see, the short-term moving average here is around now, yeah, 54.34. So around 54.30 mark. So between these zones, if the price move and pushes above, that will be a first indicator that prices have sort of bottomed out. Uh, but looking back a bit on 7th April, when I think it breached, yeah, what was the low? Yeah, I think it was 48. Yep, breached 4900. So 48.35. I doubt that we will be seeing those levels again. Doesn't mean that it might not go a little bit more, but I really doubt that we will again see those levels of 48.30 or whatever, close to 4900. I see a market consolidating here. Prices are trading in very tight zone, as you can see, with candles with cross mark below them. So very tight price zone with some volumes. They're not huge volumes, so tight on volume. So there's some early sign of sellers getting exhausted, but I'm still a little watchful. I'll not be taking any long position yet. If I'm taking long, probably I'll do a vertical call instead of just buying naked call for now, just to hedge a little bit. At the moment it goes above 54.30, 54.50, and around 5500 zone, that's something which give me some indication that it might prices have might started to reverse on the bullish side. But before that, I will not do any bullish trade for now on SPX. Let's quickly take a look on the weekly. Yeah, as you can see, very nicely getting a bounce back on 200 DMA on the weekly, so that's nice. Right now, it is sort of testing the midterm moving average. The RSIs are also below the weak zone. So yeah, weekly gives a slightly cleaner picture. As you can see, the MACD has started to fade a little bit, still not in green zone, but it's showing then the intensity of selling is decreasing slightly, but no signal saying it's bullish momentum yet, but it's showing early signs of decline in selling pressure, which might also be a case of slight positive movement before it declines further. So we'll have to wait and see how the prices react in the next couple of days. If it tries to make a lower low, which I seriously doubt that it will break this 48.35 price. So that will be the first test. If it doesn't break and tries to go up, you know, that would be a good sign that these zones have been tested and failed out. So I'll be looking for that. In terms of trade, I might want to sell, do a probably a covered put sell. I will not do a naked for now, but yeah, I would like to probably sell the puts of these range, maybe 2030 or wide, 2030 strike wide. We can do vertical puts here. Should be a good trade, like 4850 to 4900, or even 5000 and 30 40 strikes above or below that. It should be a good trade. We'll be trying to do that upcoming week. So that is on SPX. SPY, of course, is almost a replica of SPX. Uh, in terms of trade on SPY, I think this, what did I do? SPY gives us a slight edge over SPX just because of the price. So 480 put can be a good candidate to trade. Uh, on the upside, of course, as you can see, we have been in correction zone for now for some time, but the 200 DMA still is quite critical here, as you can see. So 550, 560 zone. Oh, see, this is beautifully lining up with the past resistance zone. So it has tested this zone for quite like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 7, 8 times it has tested this zone. So 560 also aligns with the 200 DMA, so that is a level to watch for. Currently it's trading around 526, so that's a 40 point out. So I might want to do a strangle, above 560 and below 480. So that can be a good trade which I might be looking at, next week. Uh, or I can do, I would like to probably even I can trade, any vertical puts below 480, like 5 point wide or 10.7 wide on SPY wouldn't hurt. You can do that in those kind of trades here on SPY. So triple Q thing corrected more than SPY or SPX. Let's take a quick look here. So 402 was the zone when the SPX was at the bottom. It has tried to regain, but again below 200 DMA, so we will not take any big long position. The volumes in past 2 days has been good, so it has declined. I will not say it's a huge volume, but as you can see, these volumes were slightly larger than the green days volume. So of course, selling happened with some volume. It's not huge volume, but yeah, it was not negligible as well. Uh, but so we'll have to watch. The price again is in very tight zone, so that's something to watch for. Uh, the first level which I will be looking at triple Q is around 460. 460 also is short of yeah, see, it's a historical support zone as well. So 460 becomes my first target. If it tries to breach that, I might convert some of my short positions into long, or might like cover some of my short positions on triple Q. Again, here you can see on daily chart, RSI is trying to bounce back here. So that's a good early sign. MACD is slightly green, is not completely in green zone. The histogram is not big, so still MACD has to provide more indicator on bullish side before we confirm any bullish trade. So overall, still in the bearish zone. We'll have to watch for 460 and 400 levels. Think we will not again see 402. It should not retest these levels again, even in that 90-day period of when the tariff is going to come back. I don't know if it is going to come back or not, but I don't think that market is going to test these levels again. So if it starts consolidating here, if it starts taking curve here, that could be a good sign. And the more number of days it spends at these levels, it'll be much better. I don't want to see, we would not like to see a sharp V shape, upside as well, because that will be immediately corrected, as we have seen it and discussed many times before. So that's something to take care. From a trading zone point of view, yeah, 460 remains a critical zone for me. So anytime coming to 460 levels and getting a resistance, I would probably short those calls here. But at the same time, 402 or 405, 410 zone remains solid support. So like a short term or a medium term put sell, we can have a good trade, like selling put or vertical put around these levels. So slightly uh, bullish, I'll not say bullish, it's basically will be like trying to get some theta there with 405, 410 zone. So that's triple Q. Let's quickly see SPX with VIX. Mm, yeah. So I think we discussed it last time. When we discussed, VIX was again trading above 30, and we spoke about that it should try to reach, or it should try to test the 30 level. So we can see the VIX dropped sharply, and of course market reacted to it. SPX got some strength, but again uh, the market has not sustained. And as you can see, the VIX is now testing around the levels of 30. Uh, we would like to see the VIX remaining below 30. That should be an ideal case for us, for markets to uh, uh, start consolidating or even start stabilizing a little bit. So I'll be watching VIX very tightly for the levels of 30, 29. Like these levels are very, very critical, as you can see here. In the past, I think we have discussed it many times. So 30 remains a very critical zone for VIX. So if we see a sharp breach of this level tomorrow on upcoming week, we have some big earnings coming up. So if we see a sharp breach of this level, and if market reacts towards that in a green zone, we might be seeing some consolidation or stability. We might be seeing some bounce back here. But as far as it keeps above 30, I'll not be long on SPX. So that's my take on VIX. Let's see what we want to do next. Let's try to see some of the momentum stocks now. Okay, I'll be sharing this watch list, so all of you will have this. So I have a lot of momentum stocks here. I'll not go through all of it, but I would like to go at least some of it, which I think some of it we already have a trade open, and a couple of them are looking very interesting. So let's try to see as much as we can get. But the, I would recommend that once you get this list, try to take a look. You know, try to do your own technical analysis for each one of them, and then try to see what all positions or what all trades we can probably take in the coming week for this. So I'll start with Netflix. I think we already have a trade on Netflix. So Of course, earnings were great. We see a heavy volume here. The prices don't support that volume, but the the post closing price is not indicating here. So, and I think the post closing price it rose 3 or 3+% above. So if we combine that here, the volume aligns with the price. So we have a VPA confirmation here. On this is a daily chart. So daily VPA confirmation, sharp rise in price with sharp rise in volume. In past couple of days, you have been, you can see here a big price candle with a big volume. I think this is the day when we took our trade. And the next day there was a small shakeout. So they wanted to shake out all the weaker hands, but again the 50 DMA playing an important role, and it didn't breach 50 DMA. So that was the second indicator to tell that the the prices are going to sustain these levels. So we could have doubled down our trade. And of course, on Friday, I think on Thursday, the earnings came in. The earnings were, I think, above expectation, and there's a big volume. And if we include the post closer price, the price and volume align. So we have a VP alignment here. So I see Monday when the market opens, I see Netflix should be in some momentum. Of course, we do not predict the price, but I'm expecting the first breach should be the level of 1000. I think that's more of a mental or psychological price point than anything else. So that's the first thing I'll be looking at tomorrow when market opens. Should probably no open above 1000 to break that psychological level to advance above 1000, towards 1050, 1060, what was its highest point up till now. So I'm looking to have a gap up opening tomorrow. If it happens, then 1064 or 1060 will be immediate target. It might reach in a day or two, or no, we don't know, we don't predict, as I said, but that becomes our immediate next point. So of course, no short position on Netflix for now. uh, I would be looking to have a slightly bullish bias on Netflix. I think the volatility is still high, so premiums will be pretty costly. So, if we want, we can, I think, uh, some 800 put, or 850 put, or even 700 put could be a good sell, uh, or a vertical put around that level could be a good sell. On the sell side, on the buy side, we'll have to see how the prices play out tomorrow. Uh, I think Monday or Tuesday was a good opportunity on the buy side. It would have given some momentum for tomorrow and next day, but I wouldn't recommend buying tomorrow yet, because we'll have to see if it starts consolidating, and if there's a sharp decline, or if it's a pullback. And once the pullback is confirmed with low volumes, then that's the point we want to probably enter again as a buy side. But otherwise, sell side is a plenty of opportunity to trade here. So anything like 700, 800, 850, even 900 puts can be definitely, we can do verticals like 5 point void, 10 point void, or 20 point void, I would probably do. So Netflix, of course, is one of the top one to be on charts for the upcoming week. LLY is so interesting again. Think there was some news about it, but huge volume and huge price rise. So we'll need to wait for an exhaustion before we try to enter now. So we'll have to see if it sustains above the 50 DMA. The moving averages are not yet aligned, but at least it is above almost all of the moving averages. So there's a long opportunity here, but I would wait slightly to see if the prices are, retesting these levels again. If it is if it comes back and retests these levels and bounce back, that would be the first entry long for LLY. And I'm looking around 900, 950 as the first target. So that's LLY. Let's look at PLTR. So yeah, Palantir. So upcoming earnings, I think it's not next week, but yeah, so after a week. Uh, Prices very tight range, tight volume. So almost, volume is being sucked out here. So last day was almost no volume, like very low volume, almost no price movement at all. So something is brewing up here, of course. It might be getting up for a breakout. So the first point which I'm looking for here is 98, more than 98. I consider 100 to be a more, psychological target for Palantir. It took some while to breach that, and since then it's been sort of a big volume zone for PLTR. So somewhere between this zone, prices should breach before we go into any a big long position. But stock is certainly looking quite bullish. As you can see, there have been some big price green candle with big green volume candle. So it's absolutely bullish. Found a very nice support on 200 DMA. Of course, trading above its all short-term, mid-term, and long-term moving averages. So uh, we can plan some bullish trade here. Uh, Selling 70, selling 80, 5 points wide could be a good trade. On the buy side, if it breaches 100 level, that could be a good first entry point for Palantir. So keep an eye on it. PLTR, MMYT. So very interesting stock. This is Make My Trip Limited. It's a company, of course, we know it's an Indian company. It sells uh, travel tickets, etc., etc., like flight tickets or like some all of those, travel related stuff. It's been doing good. Let's start with the weekly here. So as you can see, after this breakout, July 23rd, the stock has not stopped. So from 28, it all went all up to 128 or whatever, 120, 23, 25 range. And since then, it has been slightly consolidated a little bit, and then it has declined now. Now here you can see, interestingly, it tried to breach this level. So let me do this. Okay. So this was the small correction. So still it's above, of course, above 200 DMA. It's above the midterm DMA. It's above those two critical moving averages. Uh, Started to climb up to regain the short-term moving average, and again the level 100 level is so critical on the stock. The moment it goes down 100, it tries to come up around and stay around 100 at least. So you can see this, and we're talking on a weekly chart here. So try to came up 100, went to 109, got some resistance here, and then this big green candle, this one with a huge volume. So this was the week before, not the last week, the last to last week, and followed by the next week, green candle and a green volume. So a good price movement with a all below average volume candle. So which normally we see when a huge green candle, a huge volume green candle is there. There's some sort of consolidation happening here, but still the prices went above 50 and the short-term DMA 120-day moving average. So huge momentum is building up on the stock. So, and I think earnings also coming mid-May, so probably 2.5, 3 weeks before earning, and we see huge momentum building up. That tells that there's a lot of buying interest in the stock. Still on daily to for any kind of entry, I would still wait and see if it just keeps on sustaining above 100. So that becomes a very, very important point for me. So right now it's 103, but you can see for past couple of days there's a slow decline in volume with green candle. So VP is not aligning here. Prices going up, volume going down. So we might see a small correction here. So we'll have to see what kind of correction we see. If that correction is not reversing the price, but it's just a minor trend change, it could give a good entry point around this level of 100, plus, something around 100, So that's something to watch for in next week or so. Prior to earning, also we'll have to see if there's a lot of volatility in the stock. We might want to sell some puts around these levels and some calls around these levels. So those are some of the trade which will probably take on MMYT. So these are the few momentum stocks I wanted to cover. There are more here. You should definitely at least check these all. If not, at least try to monitor these stocks while markets are open, just to anticipate, just to see how the prices are moving, how the moving averages are working, what are the RSI values, etc. So it'll give you some sort of idea how these momentum stocks are working. Uh, I have chosen some of the earning stocks which I'm keeping a tab on for at least a week or a little bit more than a week. So you'll see all the list here. I'll not go through the details of it, but as you can see, there's a Google and I think T-Mobile and some, yeah, T-Mobile, Google, Verizon. These are the big ones which I'll be watching. IBM, I think even Intel, yeah, NTC, Intel is also coming. So these are some some of the earnings which I'll be watching closely. I think INTC we have a position also. T-Mobile also think we have a position. So these are the some of the earning stocks I'm watching for at least next week. Let's see what we want to cover. So yeah, let's do some macro analysis now. Let's start with crude. Yeah, crude is giving an interesting picture. So from 80 around, that zone when all that started happening, all the market correction went all the way back to 55. It has regained a bit, so it's currently trading around 62, 63. Uh, but still, crude is slightly weaker. Uh, so we have to see it in relation with SPX. Crude as such will not give you a lot of information. But yeah, if crude is rising, of course, it tells you that there's a demand of oil. But at the same time, then if you have to check with inflation and some and other numbers like yield or interest rate. But anyhow, currently trading at 63 level. Let's take a look at this together with SPX. I think I have it somewhere. Yeah, crude and SPX. So as you can see here, this was the time when when we started correcting, all the tariff news came, and this was the correction on SPX. With that, uh, crude also corrected. So that was in line with all the correction which we were seeing globally, all the markets across all the products. After that, crude has been rising, and in the past week, you can see the volumes of crude were pretty decent as compared to its past day volumes here. So crude has gained a little bit of strength with volume, which SPX has not gained. So that's a divergence which we are seeing here. It could mean, a lot of things, but at a high level, if we see a continuous momentum on crude and we do not see momentum in SPX, then of course we can figure out, we can understand that money is moving out from equity side to more on the crude or the commodity side. So of course that's just one picture. But mainly when crude increases, there's sign of instability in the equities market. So it can create a little bit of instability here before market starts consolidating around 54, 5500. So those will be the points again, which we'll have to watch for. If it breaches or you know 5400, 5500, uh, those will be levels which will have to keep a tab on the crude to understand how the crude is behaving together with SPX. So right now, I think crude is not in a zone which will directly impact SPX or equities market negatively. But if crude keeps on gaining momentum with SPX declining, we could see some selling pressure on overall SPX or overall equities market. We have to still do overall no, the breadth analysis that will give us a more clearer picture. But right now, I don't see there's a direct negative impact of crude on the markets. Although SPX has not moved according to uh, the crude oil, but normally it doesn't do always. So that's not a sign of concern for now, at least. Let's take a look at gold. Uh, mm, yeah, I think gold is in here. So, of course, all-time high. So Wednesday, I think that was where it breached 308 levels, correct? So because the gold is trading on its all-time high, there's a slight correction here, but the volumes are huge. So we might see some correction on gold. And if we understand it with in relation with SPX and crude, so if we see some gains on SPX, some momentum on SPX, we'll see some consolidation or gold weakening here. As you can see also here, it has stretched a bit, and this is all due to volatility on the equity side. The gold has gained a lot in past couple of days or weeks, as you can see here. So this is a little bit stretched out. The prices are a little bit stretched out, so we might see a consolidation on gold. Uh, I might be, taking some trade uh, on the bear side. I might be probably selling 310, 315, 312 calls for now, or I might be doing some sort of vertical calls here uh, for this consolidation. But of course, we'll need confirmation with SPX also. If the SPX gets some sharp recovery, so those verticals will be definitely I'll be taking. But I'll have to wait. If there's a still pressure on SPX, if we still see selling pressure on SPX, gold might see a small correction, but may not correct a lot, and it might keep on even moving above from here. So I'll wait for now to see how SPX react, and then probably take a position on gold here. Earnings, I think I already covered that. Key economic events. So let's try to see what our calendar says for this week. So I'll only go to the ones which are high impact. Is basically the three bars here. Don't see any. And this so yeah. So we have I think yeah there were two. I remember now. Yeah. So there were two. The durable good and existing home sales. So of course both of these numbers we need positive divergence on both of these numbers. So the forecast is 1.8. So if it is more than that, of course, that will be a boost to the market. And the same on the existing home sales. So if it's more than the forecast number, we will see a positive boost in the market. I think the durable goods basically are those ones which last for at least a minimum of 3 years. So all the industrial equipment, even automobile, is considered in that. So we are seeing, and that's month on month, which means, if there's a slight increase as compared to the last month on those kind of goods, of course, there's a demand generating. So, there's a more stability in the market. So that normally that gives a little bit positive boost to the market. It's not a huge boost, but yeah, it's a positive boost to the market. Same with the home sales. So if we see more home sales here, it's a slightly positive boost to the market. I think both of them numbers are on Thursday. Yeah, so both of them numbers are on Thursday. Friday also being option expiry, so there might be some volatility, some increase in volatility on Thursday, Friday. So just keep an eye on that. So watch list recap. I think I went over most of the list here, but let's take a quick look if we didn't cover anything. Uh, Yeah, let's quickly do a sector analysis. I wanted to just go through this sector just to give you guys a quick, very high 30,000 feet level overview of how the sectors are performing. And what are the sectors which are outperforming SPX at the current moment, and then we can figure out what are the stocks in those sectors which are outperforming those sectors. So those will be our a buy side trade. So consumer discretionary. So I'll not go through any of the sectors which are not outperforming. As you can see, this is of course completely below 200 DMA, 50 DMA, all DMAs. Even the comparison with SPX is on poor side, so we'll not go through that. Consumer staple. This seems to be stabilizing. This is on daily chart. Yeah. So seems to be stabilizing here. So think this is something which can be a little bit interesting in coming few days. Yeah. So you can try to see like what are the best you know stocks under this industry or sector, and we can choose or pick some of those to trade. Health sector as a whole has been on decline. United Healthcare, I think on last Thursday, uh, had a little had poor result, which kind of have a big drawdown on health sector as a whole. So we'll skip that. Industrial again weak, so we're skipping that. Information tech for now it's weak, but upcoming earnings might change this. So we'll keep an eye on this. Material. So this is looking quite interesting here. So good price pushback, and it has been consolidating in this area, and it's trying to now outperform SPX. So that's a good sign. Still not into a bullish zone, but might be there might be some companies in this sector which might start or which have started outperforming SPX. So those can be a good stocks to look for. Real estate has recovered nicely. So I think this is one sector which we'll be looking at the next at least few weeks now. Communication and services has been declining, still on the weak side, so we'll skip this. Utilities I think it has recovered. It is above almost all DMA. We will watch this if it keeps on rising with volumes here. So this will be a sector to watch for, and stocks in the sector to watch for next at least 3 to 4 weeks. Financials, no, I don't think there's any momentum here, so we'll skip for now. On energy, so I think there were a couple of trades we took on some of the energy stocks. So I'll be watching this, just as a sector as a whole, as well as some of the stocks in the energy sector. I think you should definitely keep a tab on it. It's been resisting all this decline, and there's a sharp price and this sharp movement with some good volumes building up. So if it goes above this blue line of 20 DMA, we should definitely look at some of those stocks, helping this push above. So this remains a good resistance zone, as you can see, is a past resistance zone. And it has been trying to breach that. So the moment it breaches that, it comes around 20 DMA. That could be a good indicator that energy as a sector is starting to outperform SPX. So we should definitely keep a tab on it. There was a change of 2%, as you can see here, energy sector as a whole. So that's a good sign. So there's something to keep an eye on. Okay, so I think we have covered everything. Let me know or if you would like me to add or expand on anything. I don't want to make this video like an hour or so. I'm trying to keep it under 30 minutes at my best, but I'll be more than happy to adjust something if you guys feel we can add or we can subtract or go light on something. More than happy to take those feedback and tweak what helps best. Cool, guys. Thanks. I hope this will be helpful. We'll meet again next week.